All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining the second day of Assistive Technology Week. Today we have Nicolas Mazars talking about the voice banking software with Acapela Group. Nicolas is in charge of the Market Owner and Business Development Department at Acapela Group. Part of the projects and developments include the specific focus on speech impairments, learning disabilities, visual impairments, and meeting the needs of seniors. Acapela Group aims to provide everyone, whatever their disability or impairment, with a voice to help them live more independently through easy access to technology. His goal is to grow the operations in each actual area and beyond. Nicolas has been involved in the My Own Voice development service from scratch. If you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to use the chat feature on Facebook or the Q&A feature on Zoom. I will be reading your questions to the presenter at the end of the presentation. I'm now going to go ahead and pass it over to Nicolas.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for having me today. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you to the ALS Association, chapter DCMDVA. Today, I'm going to talk about the voice banking services, my own voice, the version 3. But I will also have a bit of history of the services, when it started, where we are today, and where we're aiming for the future. So my name is Nicolas. I've been working at Acapela for now 14 years, Acapela Group. This is now all public. Acapela Group is part of Tobii Dynavox. The acquisition was closed April this year. But although we are now a part of bigger family, we're still running independently. So we're still doing the same things, providing voices to all the AAC players, all the players of the different markets, what we've been doing for all those years. So let's move to now the topic of today, my own voice. You have my contact here on that slide, but I will let you have the full contact details at the end of the presentation for the Q&A. So let's move straight to the agenda for the day. So first, we're going to talk today about terms that we are probably you're familiar with: voice banking, message banking, and more specifically about my own voice, which is the tagline, the product from Acapela for the voice banking. And the agenda today is going to be about the concept of the voice banking, my own voice, some definition to clear some sometimes misunderstanding, history of the services, the users, the usage, the way you basically voice bank for someone in 3 steps, and then of course how you can use your voice and the ecosystem we've been building all those years, with a full journey of the storyboard for patients, from the recording, the registration, down to the delivery. And last but not least, we have a look to the next version 4, seeing that today we are running version 3. Version 4 is the future. I will have samples to provide more understanding where we're going, but that's very exciting to see the progression of the services. And we'll conclude with the Q&A now or later by email if you want, or through the ALS Association. So first, the concept of the voice banking, my own voice. So this is services which being provided for 7 years now. A very simple concept, and it's been the case since the beginning, free of charge to create your own voice. So basically, anyone who's about to lose his voice is able to create his own digital voice, a copy of his voice, her voice. So the idea is anyone who's about to lose his voice will just register on the website, record some phrases from Acapela, and then based on that, using those phrases, that material, we will create a voice, a digital voice, and then the voice can be used in any AAC application, software, hardware, anytime. And the services is now offering 20 languages, and we are adding more and more as we have a potential up to more or less 30 languages, which is the regular portfolio of Acapela. But this is the list we have today. So if we are placed ourselves in the United States, we have, of course, English, but also Spanish, North American Spanish. We have the French Canadian, Italian, Arabic, and all of them. So you can check that on the website. But today, 20 languages. And we just added lately Polish one. Some definitions. So sometimes you hear about voice banking and message banking. So this is the formal definitions, but I will try to also explain in a simple way. When we talk about voice banking, that's someone who can still speak. So the idea, the concept is about to record, like I said, few phrases, and we will use that to create the authentic voice of the patient, of the user. This is voice banking. Message banking is more about recording some WAV files, audio files, some messages that you might use on a daily basis, like good morning, good afternoon, how are you? So all those messages will be banked in kind of folder, so all those audio files. And once you have them, you can use them later on. Once the patient has lost his voice, you will just pick up the messages you want to play, and that will be your original voice. But the drawback is that if you haven't recorded the specific phrases, you won't be able to say it. So the voice banking is more dynamic because you can say whatever you want. Message banking is more static. It's all about what you record at the first place. But of course, you can combine both, voice banking and message banking. I will explain a bit later. So this is the history of the services. My own voice, we started now, it's been 7 years, 2014, 2015, when basically two patients, one from Chicago, Eric, and one from Amsterdam, Netherlands, Garm, they reached out to Acapela and they ask, could you create a custom voice, own voice as a text-to-speech voice, authentic voice? That's when we started to think about the my own voice services. That was a huge challenge at that time because although we have been doing some corporate specific text-to-speech voices for company brand voices, we never did that for personal usage. So that was a real challenge to move from, for instance, from recording studio to your home studio, your own place, but also to adapt the script to those person. So that's where we started with the first version of the services. It was released 2015. That's what we call Move My Own Voice version 1. I'm going to play one sample here to give you an idea how it sounded at that time. And I will explain right after the process it required at that time back then.
How old are you? Can you understand me okay? I need an appointment with my dentist. We need to talk.
So as you can hear, the quality was, I'm not afraid to say not so good, was so-so, but the effort was huge because it required at that time 8 hours, 1,500 phrases to record, to create your voice. That was the first version of the services. So the concept was there. I was convinced, there was something about voice banking, but the process was too long. So basically the first year, we had maybe not even 10 patients. So it was the concept again was there, but not the process. So we kept on going, and we tried to adapt to change the model we used. So although we were adding more languages around through those years, we came out in 2018 with a new version of the services, the version 2, which was using a new model. And that was the game changer because we moved from 1,500 phrases to be recorded down to 350 phrases, which was then just 1 hour of recording. Still a lot, but less than the 8 hours that we had originally. So that was the version 2, released 2018. And you can hear the quality here, which sounded a bit better than the version 1.
How old are you? Can you understand me okay? I need an appointment with my dentist. We need to talk.
When we released the version 2, that's where, and when we we saw a progression of the usage of the services, and you will notice that in the next slide. And we started to establish some partnerships with some the Tim Glinson, the MND Association UK, the VA centers across the United States. We have now 30 different AAC vendors, and now we have also the ALS Association, and so that's I'm happy to mention that one, the MND chapter, and we kept on going, adding more languages like Arabic, Danish, and 2 years ago we released the current version 3, which still using the same model of version 2, but with some enhancements. So now compare to the version 2, we only need 50 phrases, 50 phrases, so which is about 10 to 20 minutes of recording to create your voice with, I guess, better quality as an outcome. Here's an example.
Hi there, I am Richard Cave from MND Association in UK, and this is my future new digital voice based on the latest development from Acapela Group.
So that's the current version we have today. Of course, with voice banking, the challenge is always the same, and especially knowing that the voice banking is right now mainly dedicated for patient diagnosed with ALS. The key is the timing. If you record as soon as possible when the user is diagnosed with that such disease, and the voice is still clear, you will get a good result. If the disease has already progressed and the voice has, for instance, there is some dysarthria or no, some concatenation, the outcome might not be good. So that's really important to voice bank as soon as possible. That's the key. So that's version 3. Like I said, we adding more and more languages. So this year was about Polish. You can see here 21 languages on the right end. Actually, I mentioned 20 in the previous slide. 21 is because we are about to add Russian as well. And so we also introduced new things like custom messages. I will explain a bit later. And we are now benchmarking. We are working on the next version 4, which hopefully might be released next year. And this is pre-announcement of what quality you may expect with the same volume of material, so which means 50 recordings. So this is the same sample of the version 3 that I just played, but with the new version. Here we go.
Hi there, I am Richard Cave from MND Association in UK, and this is my future new digital voice based on the latest development from Acapela Group.
So for those who know Richard Cave from MND Association in UK, the digital voice sounds exactly like him. So this is a really good progression. We are, like I said, we are benchmarking with about 10 to 20 patients in United States, in UK, in Australia. So we are first focusing on English languages. The results are really good. So we'll see next year. I'm really looking for the new version, the next generation of voice banking. In terms of users, so like I said, when we introduced the version 2, so it was back then 2018, 18 more or less, it was October, so 2008 October. Then we noticed really a strong progression in terms of number of users year after years, and it's still ramping up as we are talking now. To give you an example, last year we had more than 3,000 patients subscribing to the services compared to the 10 we had initially 2015 with the first version. This is really good. We created last year 2,400 voices, and we released although when you said deliveries or released, this really I don't really interpret those figure statistics, because it really depends when the patient needs the voice, because once again, to create your own voice, this is free of charge. So you ask for an account, you record the phrases, you listen to your voice, it's all full online. And then you can leave the voice on our side, on our services, for 1 to many years if you don't need it. Once you need to use your voice on a regular basis, daily basis, then you ask for your voice. So sometimes it could be 4 months later, could be a year later. And so that's really hard to interpret the statistics for deliveries. But nevertheless, last year we have close to 1,000 deliveries. And this year we have some forecasts here that I just shared, but I guess it's not even up to date. So we'll see, but it's still, like I say, it's still ramping up. So good, I think information for people interested about the voice banking. And this is an average of last year, knowing that 95% of the users were patients diagnosed with ALS. So by the time they ask for an account, so the registration, and when they ask for the delivery, so basically to use their voice offline on a specific device or on a specific AAC application, the average time or number of days is basically 4 months. That's what we noticed last year. The minimum was 3 days, and I guess for that case, it was not about someone diagnosed with ALS, but more like a throat cancer. So next week, it was about to go to surgery. So he had to voice bank quickly, and basically he asked the voice right after. The maximum is, as you can see here, is more than a year. And almost 2 years, and that's some specific cases, for patient diagnosed with ALS. Sometimes they live for 1, 2, or many years without needing to ask for the voice to be delivered. They can still speak, and which is good because we don't have treatment for that disease. So this is just some kind of assistive device or application, but of course, if they don't need them, that's also good. And that's what we always want to see. Now, just to go back on the process to voice bank. So basically there are 3 steps. The first one, and you can see there's a small video here. This is the tutorial we have online to explain how you register. The first step is you go on the website. So move.acapela-group.com. You go to the start now, and you just provide some basic information. You select the languages and you ask for the account. Next day you have your account. You will get an email. You will be notified with the credentials, and then you can just go ahead back on the website. You go to the record section and you're ready to go. What you need to remember, what you need to have is a computer, Windows or Mac, bandwidth, internet connection, and an external headset microphone. Don't use the inbuilt microphone from your computer. We always suggest the external one for the best result. And then you're ready to go. You have to record for 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the patient, and you can do it in one of those 20 languages today and more soon. And basically, so it takes that small amount of time, and within 1 or 2 days, you will receive again an email saying that the voice is now made available for demo. So you can go back on the website and you can try your voice, type and talk demo. All those 3 steps, they are free of charge. And I like to say, when we do that, it's a kind of insurance policy. Do it as soon as possible. It's done. You have your voice created. When you did it later, you can go back to Acapela, ask for your voice. But it's really important to do it as soon as possible. It's just an insurance policy. If you don't need it later, that's fine, except that you don't have to pay anything yet. Now, the question we have is, once we want to use the voice, how we do that? What format do you deliver Acapela? So basically, there are 3 operating systems we address. The first one is the major one is the Windows Microsoft. So we deliver the voice in a SAPI format. SAPI is something generic for Microsoft, and that allows a large compatibility with many AAC devices from the market. So for instance, the Tobii Dynavox communicators, the application which is on the iSeries, we can also be compatible with the Grid 3 pad, Grid 3 for Windows, with the print ceramic product, the accent line. So there's many other ones. So that's the large compatibility base we have with the Microsoft Windows. Also, we do deliver the voice, or we can package the voice in an iOS format. The iOS format is a bit more restricted, and that's due to Apple policy. But I'm happy to say that lately we added more applications which are not compatible. So that's from our partners. So we have now Predictable from Therapy Box. It's been around for quite many years now. Protocol for Text from Assistive. We have Sates, we have Touch Chat, Lamp, and Dialogue AAC. Those ones are from Saltillo, Prinky, Ramic. We have a new one released last June, Acapela Move, which is not an AAC application. This is more basic tools to communicate or to test your voice. I will explain a bit later. And also now TD Talk, which is the application from the new product from Tobii Dynavox, the one running on iPad platform, the TD Pilot. The TD Pilot was announced last November. So that's still, like I mentioned, it's more restricted, but there's quite a lot of option now. So that's for the iOS, and also we package the voice in an Android format. Android is also named as more large in terms of compatibility, because in the principle it is similar than Windows. This is a generic format we deliver, so any application Android based which is compatible with that format, which is the format from Android, will be able to use the voice. So I just list a few of them here. For instance, Look to Speak from by Google Creative Lab, but we have also Speech Assistant AAC and Acapela Move, just same one from the iOS but Android version. Nova Chat, Chat Fusion, they are the one from Saltillo. And probably I don't have all of them here, but again, there is also a fair large compatibility on the market. But I have to say, when someone asks for delivery, it's mainly for Windows. But lately we notice an increase for iOS application, because they start to use the voice early in the process, in those phases of the disease for ALS. So they start with some more like light applications, and then they move to eye tracking system, eye tech hub. So yeah. So this is the ecosystem of my own voice. So we have in the middle the users, my own voice user. The first circle, the person they're in touch with, they are all the professional SLPs, SLTs, OTs, and so on. They are the one referring to voice banking services. And they do a huge job here, because a crazy job, because they always push for voice banking as soon as possible, and that makes a huge difference at the end in terms of quality, but even for the user. So they're the one in touch with the my own voice users. And then we do have those, we do provide the services through basically 4 channels now. And you can see there's some currency, dollar sign, which indicates that those channels, most of them, they are subsidized. They're offering the services to the patient. So first, we start with the NPO, non-profit organization or non-governmental organization, charities, foundation. There are the Tim Glinson, again, ALS Association, the chapter DCMD VA, but also the MND UK, the MND of Queensland, in Australia, the Mouth Cancer Foundation in UK, and other ones. So those ones are the one which are subsidizing the services for the patients. We also have some usage through the hospital or clinics, like the Boston Children's Hospital with John Costello and the famous double dipping method, using message banking to create your voice. So this is an example, but also we have some clinics in Europe, in France, in Switzerland. The third one is the VA centers. The VA centers, they subsidize the services for the veterans. And we have today 30 VA listed on our website. So they always subsidize the full services, and we do work with them through a bunch of resellers in United States. That's why we have the resellers here, the Boundless, Carden, Improvability, Accessibility, and there's other ones. And the fourth channel is the partners, the Tobii Dynavox partners. Since now we are being acquired by Tobii Dynavox, Tobii Dynavox will also set up some kind of channel through their partners to offer the services. I should also mention that sometimes we have some direct partnership with some governments, like in Norway, the NAV government organization subsidize the services for the patient. And of course, we add more and more partners through those different channels, every day as we are improving the services. This is a quick, well, maybe not a quick, but this is the storyboards. So the different steps for user, from the registration down to the install of the voice on a specific device. So there are small videos that I'm going to play showing those examples. So the first step you have to go through is the registration. So you have to go on the website. So you go to the Start Now on the website section. You provide all those information, the first name, last name, and so on. And at some point, you will select the funding support organization, if it does apply, like the ALS Association, if it's if you live in the local area, or if you don't have any funding which can be selected, you just go for NA, not applicable, and the request will go directly to Acapela and we'll approve it anyway. So you can start right away. But that's an important step if you want to have some, if you want to be linked to some specific partner. So you select the support, you select the type of voice, male, female, the languages, if you want to record in US English or more than one languages, and that's it. You're done. Basically, within 1 or 2 days, you will receive an email saying the account has been approved, and that's the way the email looks like. It's a bit long, but hopefully we'll So see if we are, all right, go. So just the basic email saying your account is being approved. This is from move-information at acapela-group.com. Credentials, basic instructions, how you do the custom messages, the manual, the link, and then you can start to basically voice bank. The way you do it, you use your credentials. So you go back on the website, you go to the record section. So you approve the terms, you go to record. And from the record section, you have to basically use the online recorder, calibrate your microphone once you have, again, enter your credentials, calibrate your microphone or select your microphone, and then you're ready to go. There is now just one application, which is the online one. We used to have some Windows or Mac version, but now there does not exist any longer. So you just go use the online app. So here there's the 3B. The 3B is optional. So that's what we if you want to add some custom messages, you will do it before starting the voice banking process, the regular recording of the acapella phrases. But like I said, it's optional, so you don't have to do it. You can just go to the calibration and recording. I will explain the custom messages because I guess this is really interesting when you want to have some proper name or city names on some expression. You want to use your own voice instead of using the synthetic voice. So this is what we call the custom messages. So the way it works. So once you have launched the Acapela My Own Voice Recorder, and you have selected the microphone. Before doing the calibration, you will be asked about do you want to add your own custom messages? Like I said, optional. So if you say no, you can still move forward to the recordings of the a cappella phrases. If you said yes, like that questions, add now, you will be sent to a page where you have to enter or enter manually or import a text file or use the preset phrases. You will have to on your own custom messages. So I guess I set up some example here, like my name. I don't remember exactly what I did, but let's see. Yeah, here it's a basic one. I live in Toulouse in France. So that's something I want to record as my own voice. And probably I did, my name is Nicolas, I guess. Yeah. So those going to be with my real voice. And then you can combine the synthetic voice and the custom messages. And then I just demonstrating now the way you can also upload from a text file. So I'm using a text file and there's some lines with those phrases, and there we go. There are four lines. So I should have now a total of 6 lines, and those ones are hello, yes, no, how are you? So you can add up to 300. Those custom messages, you will see the benefits a bit later when I do the demonstration of my voice. Once you're done, you can just go back to the recorder and do the calibration. So again, optional. So if you don't do that step, you go just to the calibration right away. And the calibration is just a countdown, or kind of 1 to 4. Once it's done, you can start with the first, the a cappella phrases. You will be prompted with those phrases, and then you will have your own custom messages. If you have set up them to the system, you will have them to be recorded. So first calibration.
One, two, three, four.
That's it. It's done. So my microphone is calibrated now, and I can. You see, you have the 50 from a cappella plus the 6 from the custom messages, so 56.
A choice of shoes to wear.
And then you can start.
A choice of shoes to wear.
You can see so you are prompt with those phrases, and once it's recorded,
Ye handed out ashtrays.
the number turns.
Ye handed out ashtrays.
The number turns green.
Colorado grabbed him. Colorado grabbed him.
And you see the progression here. So I'll go quickly now up to the last one from Acapela script.
The escape sets up the final two of the movie.
And then you need to record your custom messages. So you will find again.
I live in Toulouse.
The one I set up in the system. I live in Toulouse. My name is Nicolas. Hello, yes, no, and so on.
My name is Nicolas.
And that's it. Now you have recorded everything, so you can go back and just adjust some recordings if needed. Otherwise, you just confirm to send a request to create your voice. So again, if you don't do the custom messages, you will just have to record the 50 phrases from a Acapela script. And this is true with any languages. So once the calibration recording are done, again, within 1 or 2 days, you will receive an email from move-information@acapela-group.com with a notification about your voice made available for demonstration. That's the way it looks like. So basically, you can go on the website, try your voice in a listen tab section, but also, and this is something new from last month, you can also now try your voice on some application, the one called Acapela Move and the one from Toby TikTok. You can try your voice on those applications for 3 months. On the website, it's without any limit. On those applications, it's 3 months. And it's being is being set up because a lot of time we have been asked, this is really nice, we can track the voice online, but we need to have a sense how it sounds offline on a specific applications. Now you can do it now. So the way you listen to your voice, so this is an example of the online demo. This is a type and talk demo. So again, you go back on the Mount Voice website, you log in with your credential, and then you will go to the listen tab section. From there, you will be able to select the voice. You will be able to adjust the speeding rate, the voice shaping, and type whatever you want to speak aloud. So you have the window here, so you can say whatever you want and just hit the button listen, and then you play from the player.
This is my synthetic voice.
Okay. Now, remember that I also recorded some custom messages. So I can add some custom messages here. For instance, hello.
Hello. This is my synthetic
And probably you
voice.
notice differences between hello, which was my original voice, just an audio sample, and the rest, which was just the synthetic voice. And more with how are you as well, which was a custom. So we have hello and how are you as a custom, the rest as a synthetic.
Hello. This is my synthetic voice. How are you?
So this is the value about the custom messages. So it will be basically play your own voice.
Hello. This is my synthetic voice.
You can adjust
How are
the
you?
speeding rate, and once you have found the right settings, you can save those settings here. And you can use them when you call for or you purchase the voice later on with a specific speeding rate or shaping rate. Important. And again, you can also try the voice on the specific application, Acapela Move and TD Talk. So again, this is 1 to 7, all free. So once you have your voice, you try your voice, but you don't need your voice now. You just leave the voice on the services. When you need your voice on a regular basis, daily basis, then you go through I call it here the purchase step, but it could be just having the voice subsidized by one of our partner. Basically, you go to the delivery. So asking for your voice to be delivered in a specific format. It's good to mention that with ALS Association and also the other NPO, NGO, and ALS Association, DCMDVA chapter, important to mention. We deliver the voice in all format, Windows, iOS package, and Android. That's really important because then you don't have to pay anything. You just have your voice in all formats. Once you ask for your voice, basically the way it works, you will have a delivery from the logistic department from Acapela with a link, an FTP link to download the Windows package and all the instruction to install the voice. And by the way, we have all tutorials online to install those voice, on Windows, iOS, and so on. We'll have the iOS package and the Android package with all the instruction. So that's when basically you can go ahead and install the voice on the specific device, AAC device application. I will demonstrate with the TD Talk, the new one from Toby Dynavox here. This is the same with the free version, but this is the way you install the voice on the app. So you go to the settings, you go to voices, Acapela, you set up my own voice credential again, and then the system will retrieve the voice from a server, download the voice directly into the TD Talk application. It takes a few minutes and then done. The voice is synchronized, the voice is installed here. Nick Maz, and then whatever you say, it will speak aloud with your voice. Again, custom
Hello.
messages, remember, custom messages, and then again, custom.
Hello, how are you?
And if you had other things like something which is more not custom messages, we just use authentic voice. So those are the steps from the registration up to delivery, 1 to 10. But again, remember that we have everything online, tutorials, and you also have access to Acapela support if you need, or through our partners. Now, a quick shot about comparison between version 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my own voice. So version 1 and 2, they're just here for information. Now the main focus is more on comparing the current version, version 3, and the next one, version 4. So like I said, the target for version 4 is next year. The number of phrases to be recorded will remain the same, probably 50. We don't really see a point going down. So 50 will be the minimum or the maximum. You will have the custom phrases as well. So like I said, it's an option up to 300. And it's really good when you have some sister brother names you want to have said properly, to be said properly. Languages 2021 and more in the near future. And the price, this is just the public price we have today, and this is still in the discussion for the next version, probably more likely the same price, but the quality will improve a lot. And that's born out from a benchmark. Like I said, from 10 to 20 patients, the results are really good. And hopefully we will first we'll target the English languages, but then we will deploy to other languages like French, Spanish, Swedish, and so on. But knowing that English users represent about 80% of the users of the services, it goes without saying that English languages are really important and they are first priority. So English, Australian, UK, United States. So if you look at the future, three things among other ones, but those three are really important. First, quality enhancement. We can do better. We need to do better using new models, new techniques, improving the input, but this is also on our side, but it's also it comes from the partners to always make sure they have the users fully aware. That's if they record as soon as possible early in the process, the outcome will be always better. Very important. Second point is more integration between the Acapela and the Tobii Dynavox solutions, but also other AAC partners. This is really important that for the user, there is no showstopper, from the registration, which happens early in the process with Acapela, down to the delivery on any AAC application or device. And the third one is more languages. We have requests for other languages, and we need to deploy to as many as possible and more. So that's really three main focus for the next year. Yeah, and like I said, among other ones. So now time for Q&A. I will just also move quickly to the next slide because as you asked, you might have some questions. You can also snapshot my contact details here on LinkedIn or directly from by email or from my main contact. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. There was one question on Zoom. John asked, I have about 1,200 phrases recorded with a different vendor, and I transferred the phrases to Acapela. I used V2 to create my voice. Can I now upgrade to V3?
Yes, that's possible. And I will really suggest to do it because we are between V2 and V3. We'll be using new models, and that should improve the quality. Although I don't exactly remember the input, which is also the key part here, but I will assume the outcome might be better. Yes.
That's great. If anybody has any questions for Nicolas, please feel free to use the Q&A feature on Zoom or the chat feature on Facebook Live. And while we wait to see if any questions come in, do you have a specific headset that you require for voice banking with Acapela?
On our website, in the FAQ section, we add some references, although maybe they're not really up to date because it changes every month. But basically a regular one, $30 should be okay. Noise cancellation, basic things, but everything is mentioned on the website about the requirements.
Great. And I think, can you find that on your frequently asked questions
Yes,
tab? Okay.
correct.
All right. That's great. I'm not getting any questions coming in at the moment, but if any questions do come up a little bit later on, I will pass them your way, Nicolas. Or Nicolas, his email is at the bottom of this screen. So if you have any questions that you want to directly send to him, you can do that as well. I think I see a question. After the voice has been delivered and I'm using the voice, how do I talk? Or how do I type?
So it could be if you use the TD Talk as an example, but all the, I would say, first phase application, you can just use the keyboard, which is embedded into the application. But it could be also with some eyes tracking system, use eyes tracking to just compose some phrases, and then they would just speak aloud with your voice. So it really depends the application. But on most of them, there's a keyboard which is embedded, bundled to the application. So you just type and talk, basically. Yeah, so you type.
And he asked, does it correct for misspelling?
So that's at the application level. We speak whatever is typed into the system. So of course, if something is mispronounced, the outcome will not be good. So it could be corrected. And I guess it happens with some application with the auto correct mode as well. Yeah.
That's great. Any other questions? I'm not seeing anything on Facebook, so I think we are good. Thank you so much, Nicolas, for presenting today. I learned a lot, so I appreciate that. I feel like you did such a great presentation, very very detail oriented. So I appreciate it. And I will have the recording of this presentation played at 2 p.m. today on Zoom, as well as Facebook Live if you missed anything. And that's it. Thanks again, Nicolas. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye.
Bye.